a lot of us out there, and I know we're probably going to get comments where some people finally start saying, maybe it's time you all came in. Maybe it's time you just settle down. No, not going to happen. All this has done is inspired me to continue doing what I'm doing. I've still got a whole lot left to do. I'm just going to be more aware of my limitations. Hey everybody.
Hi there.
This will be the very last update on our health condition.
That doesn't sound very good. Our very last.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
A lot of you know, our last video, we were both exposed to the C word. And I'm not afraid to say the word. It's simply because one time we used the actual word a few years ago, and we depend on the income from YouTube. And for some reason back then, anytime you use the word, all of a sudden you could not monetize the video. So that's why I use the C word rather than the word. So, you know, don't jump to conclusions as to why we're saying it that way. Anyway, we were both exposed to the C word, and we didn't actually go and get tested, but we feel confident that's what happened, because within a matter of a couple of days we started experiencing the same symptoms. Now, Deb, being Wonder Woman.
I'm not Wonder Woman. I'm just of superior health.
You're my Wonder Woman. She got over it pretty much within 5 days or so.
Right. I'm still tired. I mean, it wipes you.
Yeah.
But
And I felt like I was getting over it too, but then all of a sudden I started having other issues, and got to where I couldn't get a deep breath no matter what I did. So we called the doctor, and he did a telehealth conference with us, and he prescribed a bunch of medications over the phone.
And that was last Thursday.
Yeah, I lose track of time.
Yeah, it was last Thursday.
Today is Wednesday, the first Wednesday after Labor Day. I don't know the date. So anyway, he prescribed Paxlovid, Prednisone, and something else. I can't remember what it was. And they seemed to help, but I still had more issues. I still couldn't get a deep breath. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And just walking across the trailer, I would just run out of breath. I mean, I was gasping for air. And we have one of them little finger doodads, you know, that show
It's
your
called a pulsometer.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I believe so.
I like the word finger doodad. But anyway, started wearing it or looking at it periodically. And if I was sitting, resting, not doing anything, it would get maybe up to 90%.
Maybe.
Okay. She always has to go in there, and I try to gloss it over, and she has to.
He doesn't want to tell it the facts.
But when I get up and walk around or do much anything, I would get so horribly out of breath, it would drop down into the 60s. So finally, after Labor Day, got an appointment. Today's Wednesday after Labor Day.
We moved. We had to move locations because our reservation was up at one place, so we had to move, and we moved Friday. And
that was rough.
That was rough.
Very rough for me.
Thank goodness we only had about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, and we had done some of the preliminary work. We didn't have that much to do, but still. When we pulled in here, we just backed in, left the trailer hooked up, and hooked up the electricity and went to bed.
Yeah. Fortunately, the site was fairly level.
Right.
So anyway, so the next day, we went ahead and unhooked just in case we'd have to make a mad dash to the ER or something
Right,
like that.
because that was one of my concerns in the night. And I'd never thought about that before. This may be something for y'all to think about, is we have on multiple occasions just backed in, left the trailer hooked up, went to bed. And that night, that Friday night, when Bill was having so much trouble breathing, I got to thinking, I can't even take him to the ER because the van is still hooked up to the trailer. And we were way out here by the lake, and I was questioning how I would even call an ambulance and tell them how to find me in this campground because it's pitch black dark out here. Of course, our daughter got all on to me because I didn't call her. But anyway, that's just something for y'all to think through. I had never considered it, to be honest.
Anyway, we made it through Labor Day.
Yes.
We called early Tuesday morning. They got me in. Ran a series of tests. Went ahead and tested me for the C word. And it came back negative, so we knew that part was over. But the breathing and everything, they determined. I still have yet to get a chest x-ray. They want me to get a chest x-ray, but I just did not have the willpower to go to the other facility and walk in. You know, as far as I'd have to walk, I wouldn't have made it because of my shortness of breath. So I still have to get that done, but they pretty much determined that I had bronchial pneumonia. And I feel that that's what it is because most of my bad congestion is right up in here. And anyway, they went ahead and prescribed me a really powerful antibiotic, and the pill is huge. It's about that big.
It's not. Good Lord.
Anyway, no, it's not that, but it's a big pill. It's a big pill. And while I was there, though, they went ahead and gave me a steroid shot and a antibiotic shot, and to get things started. And while we were there, and we actually had to kind of insist that they do an EKG.
Well, I had to mention it 3 times.
Yeah, and tell them why we were thinking about that.
In the past, when Bill has had several major infections that has ended us up in the hospital, and on 2, maybe 3 of those occasions, I can't quite remember, his body went into AFib.
They call it reactive AFib.
Due to the stress and the infection and that type of thing. So when he wasn't popping back, normally we're maybe sick a day or 2, and when he wasn't popping back up, I was suspicioning that maybe we had gone into AFib, and I wanted an EKG. I had to mention it maybe 3 times in the doctor's office, and they finally came over and they felt Bill's pulse, and they said, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do an EKG. So we did, and it came back that yes, indeed, he was in AFib, irregular heartbeat. So we are now taking medication for that.
Yeah. He gave me 2 prescriptions. One is one that I'll probably be on now the rest of my life, which is
Eliquis.
Eliquis. I never can. I keep wanting to say Xarelto because they're pretty similar. But it was Eliquis. And in the past I'd fought it, but he told me...
Well, it's one of those, once you go on it, you're on it.
Yeah. But he told me, he said, it's very possible that by now that I could be in AFib when I don't even realize it. And the more I got to thinking about it,
yes,
I had to really do some soul searching. But I noticed here recently in the last few months, whenever a lot of us would get together as a group and I'd be sitting around, you know, at the campsite visiting with a lot of people, that I would start dozing off, falling asleep. And of course, all of our friends, you know, in the group, they would tease me. Deb would reach over and punch me and try to wake me up, which would piss me off.
Well, you woke up.
Yeah. And then everybody else would tease me about it. But then when we would finally go in, then Deb would start chewing my ass. Yeah, I'm being a little more graphic right now, just to explain. But then I got to thinking, well, maybe that was part of the problem, because that's one of the symptoms of AFib. You know, all of a sudden you start feeling tired and you could just doze off and go to sleep. And then also at the rendezvous, you know, when we do the big rendezvous, I am so exhausted at the end of these. And of course, I'm under a lot of stress while we're doing these things. And I always got to have a smile on my face, always got to be positive, always got to try to get to as many people as I can, you know, to do walkthrough videos and things like that, which is something that we truly enjoy doing. But stress can be a trigger too to AFib. So I got to thinking, well, maybe it's time to go ahead and get on
Eliquis.
Thank you. So
Like
they went ahead and put me on that. They also gave me a prescription for what they call like a pocket pill. Like if all of a sudden you feel like you've got heart palpitations coming on, or your heart rate gets up over 100, that supposedly you can pop one of these pills and it'll help start bringing it back down. So this is not something that I would take on a regular basis. The Eliquis, thank you, I take twice a day. But anyway, they also gave me a huffer to help clear my airways. And it's helping a whole bunch right now. I can do that treatment once every 4 hours. And without it right now, it would be pretty difficult. But I will say this. Last night, after I started on my medications and they gave me the steroid shot and the antibiotic shot, and I'd already started taking my first course of the prescriptions, that last night was the first night in 2 weeks that I could actually lay down and sleep without having to be propped up. And I didn't wake up every couple of hours gasping for air. So my outlook on the future is much better than it was 2 days ago.
Well, we actually went in yesterday with the thought process that they would probably admit him.
Yeah.
I mean, we took a few extra clothing. We took, some,
Yeah.
because that was our mindset. That was my mindset, definitely. And so anyway, we're glad that didn't happen. Glad he's back home.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm on the mend. This will be the last time you see anything like this.
Maybe.
Got several walkthrough videos still yet to get edited and get up, and I'll be concentrating on those. As I start feeling better, I've got projects we're working on, which many of you will find of interest, having to do with the trailer and, of course, the off-grid system, the off-grid power system that we're building for the van, where the van could actually power the trailer. And then we have playlists and all this stuff. We have playlists on our page of all the walkthrough videos we've done. We've now got over 80 of those out there. And we're building a playlist on this project that we've been slowly doing on the van as funds allow. And what helps make those funds available for us is if y'all watch our videos. Anyway, everything is still on for the impromptu rendezvous in October. I can't remember the dates of that, but we'll post a link to the video where we announce the impromptu rendezvous, which is just going to be a smaller scale rendezvous of like our big ones. No special scheduled events, just people coming together to get to know each other and things like that. And it's going to be held at Lost Bridge North Campground in Northwest Arkansas. We'll post a video where we announce that. We'll post a link to that. But when we did announce it, the campground filled up within a matter of hours, literally within a matter of hours. We do know that a couple of people have had things come up, which happens every time, where they've had to cancel. So if you want to see if you can maybe come, if the dates work out for you after you watch this other video, go in there and see if you can find a spot. But anyway, I guess that's about it.
That's about it. I think
today.
It's time to go rest.
Yeah. In closing, I do want to say this, that a lot of us out there, and I know we're probably going to get comments where some people will finally start saying, maybe it's time y'all came in. Maybe it's time you just settle down. No, not going to happen. All this has done is inspired me to continue doing what I'm doing. I've still got a whole lot left to do. I'm just going to be more aware of my limitations, and hopefully the medication that I'm on now will keep everything in line, because there's still a whole bunch more that we want to do, a whole bunch more we want to see, a whole bunch more people we want to meet, like-minded people like ourselves. So, in closing, we're going to use the same tagline we always do. We are not camping.
We are living.
Y'all get out there, do some living, and we will see you again soon. Stay tuned. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.